Breaking news, Jay-Z has just been revealed as one of the unnamed celebrities in those Diddy lawsuits claiming some horrific things.
We've been talking about the Diddy investigation on this channel, and we've hinted at the possibility of Jay-Z being implicated.
He may be even more famous than his friend Sean Diddy Combs, and now he's facing similar accusations of sexual assault.
I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
That you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office and certainly if you were involved, you would get a call.
But Jay-Z isn't backing down without a fight.
Jay-Z is the target of grave accusations in a case that has drawn a lot of interest in investigation. According to an unnamed complainant going by the name Jane Doe, she was attacked by Jay-Z and Diddy Combs in 2000 at an after-party in New York that followed the MTV Video Music Awards. According to the lawsuit, Diddy's driver lured 13-year-old Jane Doe to the party, gave her a sedative laced drink, and then attacked her in front of another unidentified female celebrity.
Since even before Sean Diddy Combs was arrested in September, even as far back as March when his two mansions were raided by agents from the Department of Homeland Security, there has been speculation that Combs' celebrity friends, his associates, that they could all be pulled into this legal nightmare. And one of the people at risk, often mentioned online, was Jay-Z, real name Sean Carter, who came up in the New York rap scene alongside Sean Combs. Just a few days ago, Texas attorney Tony Busby made it official. He filed an amended complaint on behalf of a Jane Doe who says that she was raped by Combs and Carter when she was just 13 years old. That this happened at a VMA's after party back in 2000. Now, the original complaint mentioned Celebrity A and Celebrity B, a man and woman, as being present for and even Celebrity A participating in the alleged assault. Now, Celebrity A has been identified as Jay-Z.
Jay-Z has strongly refuted these claims in a scathing statement accusing lawyer Tony Busby of planning a blackmail scam.
Who has adamantly denied anything like that ever happening. He is very, very clear on that. In fact, he has accused Tony Busby of extortion, saying that Busby's attempts to get celebrities to pay out huge sums of money in exchange for not being named in civil lawsuits with what he claims are false allegations amounts to blackmail. In fact, Jay-Z is believed to be the John Doe who just recently filed a lawsuit against Tony Busby anonymously, claiming extortion and intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Jay-Z's legal team has accused Busby of using these accusations to damage Jay-Z's reputation. Calling it an effort at extortion, Jay-Z's attorneys have filed motions to have the case dismissed and have demanded that Jane Doe be identified in order to ensure a fair legal proceeding.
But now they are refiling and they want to name Jay-Z, which is pretty scary because I'm sure Jay-Z has a lot of people out there he could send to go and attack this person. Now, Jay-Z's lawyers aren't saying a lot. He has a lot to say, but he has a lot to say about this lawyer, Tony Busby. We've talked about Tony before on this channel because he's representing hundreds of victims against Diddy, and thankfully he's not too scared of Mr. Carter. Tony Busby has filed several lawsuits in recent months accusing Diddy of harming and attacking multiple people. And it looks like he is due to face trial in May, so that's going to be a crazy time. Hopefully it's a moment where we see the music industry shift and justice be served for those people who are actual victims in this. Now, right now, we don't know who this accuser is. She's listing herself as Jane Doe, probably to protect herself. She said in the year 2000, she was dropped off by a friend at 13 years old at the VMAs at the Radio City Music Hall in Manhattan. One of Diddy's drivers outside spotted her and said, "Hey, my boss would probably like her as a gift, so why don't I invite her to a house party full of adults and celebrities?"
In addition to placing Jay-Z in a difficult situation, this case has reignited interest in his long-standing friendship with Diddy. The media is speculating that Diddy would testify against Jay-Z in order to shield himself from his growing legal issues.
This person commented, "No, not the guy who dated an underage Beyonce." Another person writes, "What you do in the dark will eventually come to light. Diddy is not going down alone. I 100% promise you that." Another person writes, "Sounds about right. Next up Beyonce, followed by J-Lo." Now, of course, Jay-Z is denying everything, but his statement is bizarre to say the least. Jay-Z issued a fiery response denying the allegations that he was part of this situation with Diddy. He dismissed the lawsuit as a blackmail attempt. He also attacked the attorney Tony Busby at length and vowed to expose him as a fraud. Now, we did get a full statement posted by Jay-Z on his platform, and I don't know if he had a lawyer review this.
Diddy is embroiled in a complex web of legal disputes, including new accusations of sex trafficking and racketeering, which have rocked Hollywood by exposing predatory parties involved in drug use, prostitution, and coercion. The situation is even more serious by reports that federal investigators found significant amounts of narcotics during a raid.
All right, let's take a look at the complaint that Cardella Smith filed here that this temporary restraining order is in connection to. Now, Cardella Smith claims that in 1997, he was a bartender at a restaurant in Detroit. He says he was invited to a gathering at the Holiday Inn where Combs would be partying. The complaint reads, quote, "Plaintiff was excited to attend this gathering and did so because this was Sean Puff Daddy Combs, Bad Boys. Plaintiff had participated in and consumed alcohol with Mr. Combs and the ladies and other security. Puffy was shockingly cool and someone who seemed like a really decent, normal guy." Cardella Smith goes on to allege that he participated in group sex with several women and Combs, but said that when Combs showed an interest in him, he immediately got up and sat on a couch. By the way, a little side note here, these allegations are very similar to what has been alleged in several lawsuits that have been filed against Sean Combs since November of 2023. Recall, he's facing allegations of sex trafficking, rape, harassment, abuse, and so forth. But Cardella Smith's complaint states, quote, "I then went to get another drink, and Sean asked me if I needed something else. I said no, and he said, 'Here, drink this one.' And I thought it was another glass of Jim Beam, so I took it because I had sat one down in the other room, and then I drank some more, and I stayed sitting there and began getting drowsy and started to pass out, and then Sean Combs said to me, 'I added a little something to it for you. I will get that from you anyway, one way or another.' I then passed out." Cardella Smith claims that when he woke up, Combs admitted he sexually assaulted him when he was unconscious. Cardella Smith claims that he left, he never went back. He alleges he filed a police report, but couldn't talk about what happened to him. He says therapy in prison helped him realize that he was a victim of rape. And he goes on to claim that Combs paid off police to keep the whole thing quiet. Quote, "The defendant paid Detroit and Monroe police officers to keep it hidden, and they hid it very, very well, and have kept it hidden for many decades, but not
Given the
anymore."
gravity of the accusations and the potential for serious legal repercussions, it is impossible to rule out the possibility that Diddy would cooperate with authorities and testify against Jay-Z. Legal experts speculate that Diddy might divulge information about Jay-Z in order to reduce his own legal risks if he is under more pressure or has the chance to enter into a plea deal. The past trends of plea deals in well-known cases, where defendants divulge information on others in exchange for lighter sentences, further feed this conjecture.
I want to focus on these connections between Jay-Z and Sean Combs. I mean, after all, why were people making these associations between the two even before there was a lawsuit? Well, let's go back in time. 1997, after their mutual friend Biggie Smalls was killed, Jay-Z and Combs collaborated. And they collaborated on Combs' second album, for example, In My Lifetime, Volume 1. They both faced criminal charges in the late 90s. Jay-Z for allegedly stabbing a man at a club in New York. Combs for fleeing the scene of a nightclub shooting also in New York. Both avoided jail time, got probation instead. The two reportedly bonded over their experiences. Both men were wildly successful in their careers as music producers and rappers. Forbes announced in 2019 that Jay-Z became hip-hop's first billionaire. Reportedly now has an estimated net worth of around $2.5 billion, again according to Forbes. 2021, Forbes reported Combs was worth around $900 million. became a billionaire in 2022.
Even if the accusations against Jay-Z are unsubstantiated, publicist Rob Schroeder points out that they might seriously harm his reputation, which has caused him and his family to face a serious PR issue. The public's interest and skepticism are only heightened by the lawsuit's specifics, which include allegations that the girl was drugged and beaten and mimic patterns made by other defendants in cases against Diddy.
I'm just praying that they will keep him in, because I think that will give a lot of victims the courage to say and speak and come forward. But until they're good for it, I'm gonna keep doing it. The Jay-Z victims are gonna be worse. They're worse because of the psychological torture that comes along with what he does. Like I said,
do you think Jay-Z is scared right now?
oh, he's terrified. He's terrified. He's losing confidence everywhere. But the only confidence he's worried about keeping secure are those white boys that he worked for. That's his only loyalty. Not even to his wife is he.
In a different development to new people, both of the current sex workers have come forward to assist prosecutors in the case against Diddy. One has been summoned to testify before a grand jury, and the other has disclosed details of an encounter with Diddy in 2014. This cooperation may reveal additional information that could implicate other celebrities.
What do you think? And just again, hypothetically, if his kids, as young as they are, asked, "Daddy, who's that man on TV getting arrested? Isn't that your friend?" What would his response be?
He wouldn't respond. He would just laugh and walk away. That's Sean Carter.
What?
He doesn't own up to anything. Ever. He gaslights you right in your face. Do it smooth. He's a sociopath. He doesn't have any real feelings or emotions. Everything is transactional. You know? I think the only time he's really comfortable and happy in his own skin is when he's laying in the warm embrace of a
Diddy's
baby.
safety at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Debt Detention Center, where he is being held without bail and kept in solitary confinement out of worries that he would become a target, has also come under scrutiny.
U.S. Attorney Damian Williams promised earlier this week, he said this is an ongoing investigation and that they will be speaking to more people. We found out that these two individuals, and we have actually spoken to one of them. They are both sex workers, currently sex workers. One of them says that they had an interaction with Diddy in 2014, and they are willing to tell the feds what they know about that interaction. And another one said that they are willing, and not only willing, but have been subpoenaed to go before the grand jury. So the second person could end up going before the grand jury. At this stage, they are just going to be interviewed by prosecutors. Clearly, they're trying to figure out what these other witnesses know and how they can help them convict Diddy, and that's the name of the game at this point for the feds.
Meanwhile, despite growing anxiety after federal agents allegedly found incriminating footage during recent raids, Hollywood insiders who hung out with Diddy have remained silent.
Yesterday, you reported that a former warden had a warning for Diddy that he should watch his back in prison.
Yeah, look, this is, he's going to be in this at Brooklyn, MDC Brooklyn. Who knows? It could be up to a year before this trial begins. And obviously, they're going to be, his attorneys have said that they're going to try to get him moved to a different facility. But for now, he's in there, and what we've been told by a former warden is he's a target. That's the fact of the matter, and that's why they have him in a solitary part of the jail, because they don't, he becomes a target because it's like what we've been told, it's like a badge of honor that if you were able to inflict some violence on Diddy, that gets you score points with other inmates. So that's a situation that obviously the jail officials do not want to happen. So they're going out of the way to make sure that doesn't happen. He is in a really, can you imagine like the lap of luxury that Diddy's been used to for decades now, and then just like that, he is now in this jail, and unless they can get him bail at some point, he's going to be behind bars for
for sure.
a long
The
time.
legal community is eagerly monitoring the case against Diddy to see if any more well-known witnesses or defendants will be mentioned.
I believe that we may see Jay-Z face a judge, and if so, when would we see him in court? Any indication there yet?
Well, we're definitely going to see him, I believe, on this suit. There are so many details. You know, they describe a house, a driveway, another woman being there. They discuss about a driver taking her. So she's locked into this story now, and that means there could be additional witnesses to corroborate her story or refute the story.
Yeah, I know you've mentioned the specificity of the details really stand out to you in this filing. Do you find it strange that the filing originally did not include Jay-Z, just Diddy, and now Jay-Z is suddenly added today? I mean, does that make Jay-Z's addition in any way less credible, or is this not in fact so unusual?
It's not unusual when they're still digging up information and facts to prove the allegations that they're trying to make. In addition, remember, this 13-year-old says there's a female there. That has not been disclosed either. That will be very interesting because she could be culpable in this as well.
Yeah, that is interesting. Do you expect we are going to be seeing other celebrity names added and refiled in other lawsuits involving Diddy?
I do. I think this really has a web that wraps around many different people, and I think we're going to see a lot more people named.
Diddy's potential to testify against Jay-Z is still a major area of interest, particularly if doing so will enable him to obtain a better result in his own legal disputes.
Yes, to your point, there certainly got to be people who are nervous about getting a call from the U.S. Attorney's Office, whether it be to come in as a witness, whether it be just to be interviewed to find out what they know, or go before the grand jury, which is something nobody wants to do. They all want to be away from this case as much as possible.
The circumstance draws attention to the larger problem of secrecy and improper conduct in the entertainment sector, where power dynamics frequently permit misdeeds to go unnoticed with powerful individuals, proficient in hiding their activities. Ending this loot necessitates a shift in top-level corporate practices that encourage accountability and transparency.
Will Diddy start snitching?
Prove it up.
Yeah, he better. He better. But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White. See, I know you know what happened, Corey. Diddy, I know that. You and Jay-Z down in Vegas in Tao with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot.
I would say, those who don't know who Kathy is.
Kathy Coriana White, Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died 24 hours after she announced that she was going public.
Although Jay-Z's legal team is still committed to denying the accusations against him, the case's outcome could have significant ramifications for both him and Diddy. It is unclear if Diddy will testify against Jay-Z in the end, but the prospect continues to spark intense interest and speculation.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
For now, please share your ideas in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit the notification and like and subscribe bell for deeper explorations of the narratives that influence entertainment. Thank you for viewing, and we hope to see you with the next one.